And so what happened was, um, they, like the scientists, I should say they, the scientists couldn't understand how to control viruses and HIV. They couldn't find a cure. So what they decided to do was they decided to create a video game. Seriously, they created a video game that would mimic HIV virus, and they released it to kids. The kids figured it out within, I forgot, like whether it's within 3 months or 3 weeks. I believe it. And so I'm gonna show you how it looked. So then, video game solving HIV virus, and so it's called Fold It. The game is called Fold It. So within 3 weeks, they found within 3 weeks they solved it. And so they decided to, because it's an enzyme that they didn't know how to like reprogram it so it will clip better. So they took this protein back. So this is the way, hold it online protein puzzle. So they gave it back to the lab, to the scientists, to create a solution. What I'm saying is, we are looking at the problem the wrong way. And I think the future would probably fix itself if we leave it alone. But by these people, stuck thinkers, they are going to hurt us more. So don't agree to vaccination only because if you have not figured out whether you are a methylator or non-methylator. If you're a methylator, then it's okay. At least you can process, you can build your immunity. Right. If you're a non-methylator, it's a toxin for you. So you would get more sick, and it is very, very difficult to bounce back. People will. My eldest one. The reason I woke up was my eldest one when he received vaccination. He became very different. He used to do this and run around. And my school went asked us to get him tested for autism. My husband said, if you cannot teach him, the problem is with you, not with my son. But then afterwards, I really took vaccination off him, and I decided to say it's a religious reason. And I tested him for MTHFR. He failed. He cannot process MTHFR, MTRR, MTR. And so that's how I knew, because I also have the same problem in my genes. My second one, I'm getting it tested because you need to be at a certain age to test. But the MTHFR, they can definitely test now because the labs, any lab will be able to do it. But I did all the other genes too for my kids because that is the puzzle we need to solve. The reason, like I said, is virus is not fixable. Once you put it in, it clips the DNA and it creates retrovirus. Like it breaks the DNA strand and it recreates itself and it can mutate. It can create anything it wants inside. Like, if in case it wants to be another virus, like even though people will say, oh, I've never been exposed to this, and it can mimic another virus. So that's another danger with virus. And virus, because it's reproducing itself, it will again and again lodge in different areas. So it will go to the bladder. You will get like a chronic transmission. So you'll become a transmitter of that problem too. So Judy Markowitz wrote a book called Plague. She says this is indirectly we are causing a herd to have altered immunity. And imagine, like, you're being controlled by something that swings your brain up and down, because by not doing it the right way, we are actually making people die quicker by doing it this way. Whereas if we don't put anything to break our DNA, we at least know our body is intelligent enough to know how to heal itself. But when you put an entity that's like totally alien inside your body, it clips itself and it houses itself. And when that's why, like, how can a chickenpox virus become shingles? It is dormant all this time, and then suddenly it comes up with that eruption. And like disseminated herpes virus is like a big thing, like cold sores, right? And genital virus. So I feel if we do not control this, it's going to be a problem. And that's why, like the online gamers, when they figured it out, this is the first time they are trying to uh, solve this problem. And I don't know whether that made change. If I have, remember how recently they are saying Hep C can be cured. I don't know whether it's like
Yeah, they're saying
something,
now can be cured. Yeah, it used to.
but I didn't know whether that's connected. But I would never trust anybody to put vaccine in unless they test me for MTHFR, because I feel you have no business dealing with my body when I have a problem with the vaccination.
Right.
So I see a difference. Like when I take vaccine, in the past I used to like my whole, because I have thyroiditis. I already have immune issue. So my whole arm where they put the needle in will get so heavy and I couldn't even move. And I feel like, if you don't even know what I am inside, how can you insist on giving it to me? You know? And this is something I haven't understood, but I feel don't take your rights lightly.
No, definitely not.
So especially for
Definitely
your
not.
child.
That's why I was saying, no, 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 do the blood work because you're not just going to pump him with stuff just because.
Yeah, but the blood work you're ordering is just for antibody.
Right.
What you need to do in addition is ask them to do the MTHFR. Call them and say, hey, I want this test also done, and they can actually they can just call it into any lab and you can go do it, because it's very important for you to understand. Yeah, if you fix your MTHFR by taking it, even normal food, nutrition, vitamins, everything. If you understand that, would affect, like, for normal people that vitamin would be okay, but for like B vitamins.
Right.
But if you have MTHR problem, the B vitamin will become toxic for them. It'll hurt their kidney and they will lose their hearing. So in the long run, all the ailments would be caused by this not taking care of these filters in our body. So just take it seriously and not get anybody interfere with your way of raising your child, because you are there to protect them from these.
Definitely. Definitely, we're not